Welcome back to another tutorial that I've made. In the last tutorial we made a login startup which had some Actionscript in it, a forwarding Actionscript which took us to another scene. In this tutorial we are going to be making a loading screen which will have a dialog box in the corner with some keyframe animation in it, and then it will have some action script in it as well, because what we're going to do is go from one scene to another scene, and when we're in the third scene we're going to get it to create a clock that shows real time on it as a movie clip. So we're going to slightly be touching on movie clips and the main timeline and some more action script. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the file for this one. Flash projects, tutorials, desktop go, clock, desktop go. So I've not done anything with it. All I've done is rename the file, so I've got some extra files. So in the last one, recreated this login, which takes us to this scene, and this is the scene we're going to be working on today. So I'm going to delete that. I can delete that entire layer because I don't need that stop action anymore. So we're happy with the background because the background is in place and it's in the same place on all of my scenes. So we're going to lock that one up and call this one background. Now I need to import a couple of other bits because I haven't got all of it on this one yet. So import to library. Again, I make all of my stuff pre-prepared in Adobe Photoshop. So all of my stuff is ready. I know it's going to fit. Flash projects, tutorials, desktop, project OS. So for this one I'm going to need my text color scheme, my loading points, loading dialog, and that's it for this one. Again, just highlight them, move them into the folder so you know where they are and you're happy with them. Just move all those in so they're out of the way. Okay, so first of all we need to make a new layer for our loading dialog. And I want this to come up about 1.5 seconds when this scene first comes on. So I'm just going to click roughly about there, it's about a couple of seconds. Press F5 to extend my clip. Now it's gone white because the background hasn't been extended. So if I just click underneath that one and press F5 again, it'll extend it and it'll keep the layer locked. So on this layer we're going to call it loading dialog. We want it to go to about 1.5 seconds, so you can move the timekeeping tool to about 1.5, or you can actually click down here and type in 1.5 and it'll move it there as well. So at this point we want to create a keyframe. There's F6 to create a keyframe, or you can right click and click insert keyframe. And again, this means that anything before this point there is blank. It isn't live, it's not going to show up on our animation. So let's drag my loading dialog over here. I'm going to put it up in the corner like it used to be on Windows XP. I'm just going to off click that for now. Now I want to add some text to it. So the text, I'm actually going to use my color scheme. So I'm going to make a new layer, let's lock that one so I can't accidentally move it or delete it. Create a keyframe above the dialog when it opens. Now for what I've done for this one is I've actually just made a color, that's the color I want, which means it'd be a little bit easier for me to select that color I want. Now that I've got that, I don't need that on my stage anymore, so I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to go to the text tool, and we're going to put loading flash GUI please wait. Go to properties, change the size of it so we can read it. You'll get it now and again where it'll accidentally open the dialogue all the way down here, depending if you just have the size as big as I just did then. So I'm just going to rescale this a little bit, just so it's a little bit easier to work with. There we go. It's a little bit too big still, so I'm going to make it smaller again. And because I've centralized it, wherever I put these points, it will make it exactly central in this dialogue. So I'm happy with that. Loading Flash GUI, please wait. Now in this scene, we're not going to put a stop script, so it's literally going to jump to this one, start playing from frame 1, and it's going to play all the way through, and when it gets to this point, it's going to jump onto our desktop. Now, I want it to be a little bit more interactive, with a bit of animation on it, which is why I've made some loading points. Now, I'm going to lock this text layer, make another layer. On this one, I'm just going to call it loading points. Click above. So don't want it to start just yet, so let's start at about 2 seconds. Insert keyframe, and then I'm going to load my first point here. Let's zoom in a little bit so it's a little bit easier to read. There we go. So I start it there, right at the edge. Give it a couple of frame misses, so 1, 2, 3. Insert keyframe. Just click and drag it on top again. 1, 2, 3. Add another one. 1, 2, 3. Keyframe. Add another one. 3 again. Another keyframe. 3 again. Another keyframe. And when we view it in a moment, it will actually, or should look like we're loading, like so. Now, I've run out of room on my timeline, so what I'm going to do is highlight all of these and push F5 to extend all of them. So I don't lose the text, I don't lose the background, everything's still in the same place. So let's add another 3. Add another point, a little bit off. I'm just going to change the size of that a minute. There we go. Hopefully that will look alright. Yep, you can hardly notice the difference. Now, so once it's done that, we want it to go straight onto the next scene. So first of all, we need to make the next scene. What I'll do is if I preview this one scene, you can see the loading bit as it comes up and loads. So we don't want to test the whole movie because that will take us to the login screen. We basically just want to test this scene only. So test scene, or you can do Control and Enter. And it's not quite doing what it needs to do. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so sorry about that. There was a little bit of an issue with Java and Flash working together, but hopefully I've fixed it. So now we're going to preview this loading dialog to test that it's working, which it should be now. I've spent a couple of hours working on the problem. There we go. So, as you can see, it automatically will refresh it because I'm only previewing a scene, I'm not previewing the whole movie. So we want it to load up like it is now, and then we want it just to go straight into the next scene on its own. Now, we need to make a new scene. So I go to Insert, and then Scene. pull my wallpaper onto the background so I know where it is and I'm happy with it. Going to lock that, again rename that background. Going to extend the layers. Now, this is our main login screen, so once we've done the login and it goes into the loading screen, it's then going to jump to scene 3, and then we wanted to open up some basic things. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, and I'm going to call it Taskbar. Going to import the taskbar I made earlier. Drag that on. Well, let's give it 5 seconds. Well, 0.5 of a second. Create a keyframe by pushing F6. And here's my taskbar. So most taskbars, most people have them at the bottom, so we'll keep ours at the bottom as well. And next, we're going to make the clock action script. I'm going to make a little clock appear down here with hours, minutes, and seconds, and differentiate between AM and PM. Okay, so I'm going to save all of this. I'm going to create a new layer, locking the taskbar, so again I can't move it. I'm going to call this clock. Now, what we actually need to do now is create a movie clip, because in essence we want this to keep playing over and over so it shows the system time. So I'll load the clock a little bit later than the taskbar, so create a new keyframe. Now I'm going to make a text box in the bottom corner, but first I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to make a little box in that corner. Then, next I'm going to delete the color. Oh. Or not, I'll do that in a second. So, I now need to make this into a movie clip. So I right click, I click convert to symbol, turn this into a movie clip. I'm going to call it clock. Press OK. And now it's changed colour on the outside. If I double click on this, you'll see the rest of this has gone grey, and I'm inside this clip. You're basically going into a timeline in a timeline. Now I'm going to make a new layer and another new layer. I'm going to call one text fields. The top one, Actionscript. And I'm actually going to delete the bottom layer. So that's gone now. Now, in our text fields layer, we need to create 6 different texts. So, I'm going to do that for the minutes, for the hours, sorry. That for the minutes, that for the seconds. I need an AM, PM button, and then the dividers. It's up to you what text and fonts and colours or whatever else you want to use for it. Now, again, we have to assign all of these a instance name. So I'm just going to get them lined out just quickly where I want them to go. Try and get them all roughly around the same size. It's a little bit better and easier to work with when they're the same size because you can spread them out equally between them. Now we need to look at the action script. Make that a little bit smaller. We need to look at the action script for this. Just make that a little bit smaller so the little fields are easier to click on. Zoom in a little bit more. Now I'm going to change the color of mine to white. And I'm going to move them up a little bit more so they're a little bit more centralized. Maybe move the AM down there a little bit. Okay, so for this script I'm going to click on the first one, so this is going to be our hours, and in the instance name I'm going to type hours underscore txt. I'm going to do the same for the minutes, and the same for the seconds, and the same for the AM, PM. So we've done that in the text fields layer. Now we need to animate it. So I'm going to click on the Actionscript layer on the first frame, right click, go to Actions, and this is where we can start to code. So first of all we type var now. It's going to be a date time, so date equals new date, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon, var again, hours are equal to now, get hours, close and open brackets. We do the same for minutes. And the same for seconds. So what this does is it basically takes our system time, and that's what the now.get hours, minutes, and seconds script means. And we're going to say if hours greater or equal to 12, lower bracket again, AM, PM, and this is how we'll get it to change from AM and PM. So AM, PM underscore txt dot text, so our AM, PM text field is equal to PM else AM, PM underscore txt dot text is equal to AM. Next we're going to tell it what to write if it goes over 12. Otherwise it'll get to like 24 and it'll just continue and continue and continue. So next we're going to type if hours are greater than 12, hours equal hours. So if they're greater than that, we want to minus it, minus 12. And then we're going to say if our hours are less than 10, oh no, sorry, if our hours are equal to 0, 0, lower bracket, hours equal 12. So that bit done. Okay, so the next bit is, now we're going to get it to tell us where to put the hours, minutes, and seconds. So if our hours are less than 10, hours underscore txt text are equal to 0 plus hours semicolon, else hours underscore txt dot text is equal to, oh no, text equals hours. So that little snippet here is saying, once we've got it, brilliant, put it in this field, and that's what the hours are going to be. And you do exactly the same for minutes, and the same for seconds. Make sure it's closed, press enter, save, and that should now be programmed. So, oh no, I forgot, you need to also put a second frame in, a keyframe in this one. So put a keyframe there, and then we'll just F5 to extend that layer on the bottom. Now, if we preview this, oh, done something wrong, so let's have a look. Oh, there we go, mistake there. That should have fixed it. Okay, so let's try and preview that again. Hopefully this time it'll work. Test scene. There we go, so as you can see at the bottom, the clock is working. You can also see the entire animation is still continuing, so we need to put a stop command in. So what I like to do, as you know already, is make a new layer, actions, keyframe near the end of it, and just type in stop, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon, enter, save, and now we test that scene again. See, it logs in, taskbar comes up, and the clock's running at the bottom. Also tells us if it's AM or PM. You can make it as big as you want or as little as you want, it's up to you. If we view the entire Flash project so far, so let's view all of it. It's okay, so log in. Directs us to our loading screen. Now that that's done, we're logged in, our clock is running, and we're all happy with that. In our next tutorial, we're going to be looking at making a start menu, linking it back and forth to other scenes, locking the Flash so you have to log back in, and we're going to go from there, really. Again, if you have any ideas, let me know. If you want to know anything, I'll give it my best shot. Thanks for watching. Cheers.